This week on SailAway, a looming eyesore of a project that has been a malignant presence since day one is finally being dealt with. Isn't that what you'd love to look out through every morning?
Like dog doors.
Oh, good boy. But the damage is bad, and the repair process becomes far more steps and missteps than expected. Damn it. I fully recognize that I am among that breed of guys who convinces himself projects are easy. I've managed to get some pretty big jobs done because I foolishly jumped in and was able to convince myself it wasn't going to be that bad. This is one of those. Oh look, you've already accomplished my entire goal for the day.
You know what? Here, look, I'm gonna hand it to you, and then we're done.
You're not getting off that easy. But we can only tackle the steps expected and unexpected one at a time, until this gorilla is finally off our back. So he's like one good whack. I think that's pretty good.
Aren't you so excited that we can see through these windows to this humongous mess?
In the words of Hannibal, I love it when a plan comes together.
So meet me on that island, kiss me on that shore. Hey, promise me that we'll sail away, and I'll be yours forevermore.
We've had a long project list for Ophelia since we bought her. We've been working our way through them for almost 2 years now, and we're about to kick off the biggest one yet, which is converting our motors to electric. But there's one soul-sucking project that's been driving me crazy from day one. Isn't that what you'd love to look out through every morning? And we finally have the time to take drastic measures. Pretty rough. So the difficulty is this piece of trim obviously is a special piece. It's not something you can just go buy at the hardware store or whatever. And so I've got to do everything I can to get it off of there in one piece, because this isn't just something that I can whip out a replacement for. So it's kind of a tedious process to get it out of there. Putting in the glass theoretically will be a whole lot easier. Damn it. What's gonna happen? Alright, well, it'll go back on the same way it came off. Got one unfortunate break here, but it's clean, so I should be able to put that back together and I put it on again. Alright, we'll peel this glass out and then start on the next one. Hey Lauren, come look what I did.
Like dog doors.
Oh, good boy. We'll leave that half open for you. Alright, door demo mostly complete. But man, it already looks better. Oh, but look at that. You can see out. Alright, now just to finish up all of these frames. A lot of sanding to do. I think even if we wanted to, trying to refinish these as varnished teak, not a great idea. So, we're going to paint them. And we're going to paint them a light gray. Some people are shuddering right now, I understand that. But, it might not make sense right now, but it will later. It will make sense, I promise. Look at me wearing a mask thing. Just sanding my balls off. Not literally. That'd be weird. Sanding my ass off. Is that better? Sanding a lot. Okay. Coming out pretty good. Now, if we were going to be refinishing the teak, we would still have a long way to go. I would need to get really detailed, get every little bit of color off of there. And I'm happy to say that we're not doing that. Just need to get it primable so we can paint it. Just gotta clean up all this. It's an absolute freaking mess, and there's just no real good way around it out here, and so it just kind of drifts all over everything, and it just is what it is. We'll clean it up. Oh, it's been a long time. Long time coming. Alright, time for some vacuuming and a drink, or maybe, I don't know, maybe a drink while I'm vacuuming. It's just a thought.
We'll see.
Good morning, everybody. It's time for us to get back on these doors. Try to get these things finished. Well, this part kind of sucks. No way to sugarcoat it. Oh, yeah, it's just been scraping with a box cutter to get all this old sealant off of these trim pieces. And whatever it was some tough old shit. But I got 2 down, 2 to go. And then I can start doing some repairs on all these pieces so I can get them sanded down and we can get them put back together. Piece of cake. These things were just so brittle, and that adhesive was pretty good for 30 years old. And I was going to wind up cracking it in a couple spots, and I did. Alright, I think that'll work. So I'm going to go ahead and start sanding on these things and the doors, get them all cleaned off and ready to go. Gonna be a whole lot of sanding going on. Yeehaw. Okay, we're slowly getting there. I got started on this part. Do a little before and after here so you can kind of see what these things were like before. You can see this teak has worn away so much that it's raised right here where this trim covered it up. So all that amount of wood has worn down. And so sanding that and getting it all smooth again. And the other thing I've got to do with these is I have brand new hinges. So the ones I got are a little bit bigger and they go into the meat of the door a little bit better, so the screw holes are more toward the center. I don't really have a router or anything like that, so I'll probably have to use a Dremel and then chisel these hinge openings a little bit wider. And of course we got this whole side to get sanded clean. It's a lot. I fully recognize that I am among that breed of guys who convinces himself projects are easy, very doable. Gonna be some work, but it's gonna be great, and it's gonna be so worth it. That part is true. But I do it to myself again and again. I think it's just kind of how my loose screws work. It allows us to jump into sort of big projects with both feet, optimistically. And then once we're in it, we're gonna finish it. And the end result is gonna look good. It's gonna be very satisfying to see these doors finally done. As obviously a big job as it is, I'm able to convince myself it's not that bad. I've managed to get some pretty big jobs done because I foolishly jumped in and was able to convince myself it wasn't going to be that bad. This is one of those. So much sanding. Alright, well, we had a little downpour. I saw it coming, and I was finishing up. And now, after a little bit of rest, which I definitely needed, it's time to do some surgery on these doors, and it's the one in particular that has got some issues. Part of the problem is right here. It's not coming apart as much as it looks like. When it was originally put together, you can see right there, it had filler. What I'm going to do is reinforce this whole base with a couple of screws straight through here, and I'm going to sink them way down in and then fill right over top of them. And then once everything is nice and solid, we'll go ahead and fill that with some putty. Little issue up here that somebody has repaired once, so it's actually solid, so I'm just going to fill that as well. And the last thing is we need to fill this big old hole where a bolt used to be. This is where I'm going to get my material to fill that. I got 2 plugs out of it, but I snapped a bit. Never had that happen on a hole saw before, but I guess it does. Alright, so that one popped right in there as well. So it's just below the surface. It's perfect. I'll be able to put filler in all of these holes. We've been dodging some showers today. And by dodging, I mean just sitting here as it rains on us. Not dodging them at all. We're now gonna go have a little bit of shawarma to fuel me up for these freaking doors. And we do not have our Plex yet, and it is Sunday, so that's not happening today, but I plan to have a paintbrush in my hand at some point today. Oh look, you've already accomplished my entire goal for the day.
You know what? Here, look, I'm gonna hand it to you, and then we're done. I don't want to work. You're welcome.
Thanks.
We're done!
You're not getting off that easy. This is Little Jerusalem. Sunday, not entirely fun day, but like it's a little better now. All of our friends have been here. We have not. When they all talk about how good it is, how huge the shawarmas are, and how inexpensive. And Abe, the man behind the counter, is super cool dude. Pretty much just ordered for us. He's like, here's what you want. You like spicy? This is your choice. So we'll see, Abe. We'll be the judge of that. It's as big as it looks. It's just like a pocket of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you do it first. I'm gonna love it, aren't I?
Yeah, it's really good.
Here we go. We've exposed it. It's like a gyro. And the meat is similar but spicier, but it has kind of a curry flavor to it. It's really good. This is falafel.
No.
Shawarma. Sorry, you just said falafel and that confused me. This is shawarma. It's like that hole was never there. Uh-oh.
What'd you do?
I don't know.
Well, that's gonna make it hard.
Something going on with that outlet or not.
Well,
I've got the rechargeable one, but it's not going to last very long. It already died once. Good morning, folks. Everybody's doing well. I've been up since about 6:30. Driving myself nuts because I didn't get near as much done on these doors as I hoped to the other day. But I'm back on it. I do have another Dremel, so obviously my Dremel quit on me the other day. I guess it's done. I tried it in multiple outlets, checked the brushes. I mean, it quit pretty abruptly, so I didn't really think it was that. Anyway, I've done a couple, and I'll show you how I'm doing the other ones. Not perfect, but I didn't have to get out a hammer and chisel. Alright, so we got all 6 hinges done. I think they came out pretty good. I think they're going to look nice. They're not perfect, but not too bad for a Dremel. Now this next little piece is weird, but I just can't leave it alone. This thing has had a history of locks and stuff, but this trim has been cut away for the deadbolt, and then it's missing a piece here because the old lock set was longer. Put it all together and it just looks kind of hanky, kind of lame. So I'm going to attempt to Frankenstein this back together. So I'm going to attempt to cut this out and replace it with a piece of this, and then sand this to match as closely as possible. You can see it's a little wide. I don't know. I'm gonna give it a shot. We'll see what happens. It's gonna be a trick. Well, I'm gonna use my handy dandy hacksaw for this little piece, and then we'll be ready to shape this thing. This is working out, I think. In the words of Hannibal, I love it when a plan comes together.
ooh, impressive.
I didn't fish for that at all. I'm gonna go ahead and just a little bit of filler in these cracks. I think it'll look pretty good.
Good job.
Thanks.
Maybe we should eat some breakfast now.
What?
Oh, that's barely not in.
So he's like one good whack. I think that's pretty good.
The fun is beginning.
It's getting real.
Is that? This is nice.
You don't want it to be too.
It's satisfying.
You don't want it to be too thick.
It's so satisfying.
Big day. Buying the actual glass / plastic for these doors, which have been quite the project. Right now it's so cool. Zeke's like, I'm staying here. All right, Rivers, come on, we're done. Well, that worked out better than I expected. They couldn't find it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's like, we don't have it, I'm sorry. It's like, it says we've got it, and he was showing all of it to me. And I'm looking and looking and looking, and he's giving up, and I'm like, wait, I found it. It's right here. But it was buried under a bunch of stuff. But then since I was back there, they asked, they're like, oh, so 5 feet? I'm like, actually, 59 3/8 inches, please. So they cut that. And then I'm like, can you just stand it up and make 3 more cuts for me? And they're like, yeah, I guess so. So I got all the pieces cut to size. Now I just got to radius the corners with the jigsaw. So I saved so much work. And like if you go to Lowe's and buy stuff like this, they charge you some stupid like $1 a cut or something. Those guys just did it to be nice. All right, one step closer.
Butyl tape is going on. Means we're close. Kind of. Closer. Zeke is not impressed with your shenanigans.
Never is. It'll never ever be this clean again.
It's so clear, we're gonna walk through it.
I got one completely glassed in. I want to use finish nails to secure it, and then we're going to tape off the glass. We went back and forth about the best order of working on things, but being here on a boat, we just don't have like endless acreage to spread things out and paint them. So it's just as easy to just tape the glass to do this last little bit. So, hammer time.
Hammer down.
Hammer pants. Get that filler back out.
Aren't you so excited that we can see through these windows to this humongous mess?
Ugh. Yeah. It's great when it rains during a sawdust project.
Seriously, it's so gross. It hasn't been this bad since we've been in the boatyard.
It's real bad. You'd think, oh, a nice fresh rain, rinse off the boat. No, no, not at all. All right, anyway.
We're getting closer.
We're very close. We did have a setback. It was a mistake, I guess, although I don't think I would have done it any different without seeing it. The problem was I was putting the butyl tape like all the way out to the fill in this whole area where the glass goes in. And the insides of our trim weren't really finished because stupidly I just hadn't thought about seeing through the glass from the other side. You know, you think of the glass as being sandwiched so anything on the inside is closed, but it's really not the case. When you look through, you could see the edges of the butyl tape and you could see the insides of the trim, and it wasn't very finished. And so we had 1.5 of the glasses in and peeled them out. Had to peel all that butyl tape off, and man, it was a gooey mess. Go back, I had to kind of fix the trim on this part because I already put the trim in, had to pull it out. So now we're doing a half a strip. So we're cutting this fat butyl tape that we have in half and running it all the way in the back edge here so that from an angle you can't see. You can't really see the butyl tape unless you're really looking hard, and then it's just sort of like a shadowy edge. Looks way better. It was a ton of extra work, but sometimes you don't know what you know until you know it. Don't know what you don't know until you find out what you didn't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm Yogi Berra. We might be related.
Hey, boo boo!
It's not Yogi Berra. Okay. Okay, ready? I'll do this. I'll do it from the top since you can't reach it.
It's time!
And it's the last of it.
Ta-da!
It's a door!
All right, well, Lauren got the tape removal, and it reminded me that I haven't really taking any video of the final product. It's kind of how it works sometimes. Get working and working and working toward that end little bit, and you're just like pushing to get it done, and then it's finished. You go to bed. But here it is. By golly, they look real nice. Baby steps though. This was no baby step though. This was a big ass step. It was quite the project, and that's always how it kind of turns out. It was just a lot of steps to get all the pieces done, get them all put back the right way. There's a load off my mind. Now we've got one thing off the list. I'm gonna get some work done, the kind that pays money, and then we'll do more jobs.
Take the trash out.
You're going to see there's going to be a lot of momentous occasions of us throwing things in this dumpster. This is number 2.
Goodbye.
Needed those things from day 1.